Today, at reallylearnguitar.com, Jeff's tip of the week is going to be on diminished chords. A diminished chord is a strange little chord with a really specific purpose. The purpose is of resolution. So, when you're resolving a chord, it simply means that the chord creates tension in the music, which then needs to be released. So for instance, if I were playing E diminished, if you were to leave a song on that, which would be fine, you would create a lot of suspense. But when you resolve the chord, for instance, I'll resolve it to a F chord, it creates a finished quality. So it might sound like this. Okay? Now, any one of the notes in a diminished chord, if you move it up by 1 fret and make that either a major or a minor chord, you'll have your resolution. So in the case of this E chord, I have an E note here, so I'm going to go to F. Could have gone to F minor. I also have a B flat or an A sharp, so that means I could go to a B major or a B minor. I can go to a D or a D minor because I have a C sharp in it. And last but not least, I could go to an A flat major or an A flat minor because I have a G up here, and one note up from G is A flat or G sharp. Okay? So the diminished chord, once again, is useful for resolution. Resolution is good at the end of a part or at the end of a song. So now that we have the function of the chord, let's learn actually what it looks like on paper. So here we have what's called an E diminished seventh, and I'm only calling it that because this note is an E. So what we have here is on the 4th string, we have our first finger on the 2nd fret. On the 3rd string, we have our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. On the 2nd string, we have our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. And on the 1st string, we have our 4th finger on the 3rd fret. So this is the shape of the diminished. And let's talk about one more usage for this. Because of the structure of a diminished chord, if you take the chord and move it 3 frets, so for instance, my first finger is at the 2nd fret, so what is 3 plus 2? It's 5. So if I move from the 2nd fret to the 5th fret, I arrive at the same chord but in a different order. If I add 3 onto 5 now, I go from 5 to 8. If I go from add 3 onto that, I end up with 11. 8 plus 3 is 11. So an interesting thing, and your homework for the week will be, take that, do that method, and then figure out each of the notes in each of those individual chords, and you'll find a strange thing happens. And that strange thing is that each of the notes stays exactly the same as was in the chord before it, just in a new order. I already know this for myself, so find it out for yourself, and you'll find it to be an interesting and useful tool. And remember, all you have to do is move 1 fret up and play either a major chord or a minor chord as your next chord to make it resolve. Have a good time with this, and I will see you next time.